In this section, we'll talk about form layout. We have two types of layout, tabbed view and flexible form. The difference between the two is that on a tabbed view, we see one tab at a time. On the flexible form, on the other hand, we see all the tabs displayed simultaneously. First, we'll go through the configuration, where we can set up the layout, and then I will show you how does it actually look like in the app and what are some advantages and disadvantages of each layout. So for the configuration, we have 3 levels at which we can set up the layout, and the first 2 are in the Woodford and the last one is in the app. So open up your project in Woodford, go to the settings section and configuration. Here in the UI tab, the third option is flexible forms. By default this is set to false, which means in the whole project we have tabbed view. We can change it to true, and then we would have flexible forms in the whole project. The next level at which we can set up the layout is for a specific form. So for example, an account. Here we can define the layout for default form. So form layout. And here we have 3 options. Project default basically takes the setting from the configuration, and then we have enable and disable. The settings here would override the value in the configuration. So for example, if we would pick enable here, that would mean in the whole project we have tabbed view except for this form where we would have flexible form. The last option how we can change the layout is in the app, and it's here in setup. Scroll down a little and then we would see in the appearance section new form UI toggle. If this is turned on, we have flexible form. If it's turned off, we have tabbed view. The setting here is basically the user preference, so it's up to the user what he prefers. If you do not want the user to change the layouts, you can disable this toggle in the configuration. So I will show you how. In the Woodford, go back to the configuration, and here you can lock this option so the user won't be able to change it. So let's demonstrate this. Save and publish. And now synchronize the application. So now if we would go to the setup, we see that the option to change the layout in the app is disabled. Let's change it back to the normal so we can actually look at the layouts. Synchronize again. Now it's enabled again. So now we have set tabbed view for the whole app. So let's look at the form. So as you can see, we see only one tab at a time, and we can change them or jump through them by clicking here in the bottom panel. The advantage of tabbed view is that it's not information overload. You focus only at one tab at a time. It's suitable for smaller screens. As you can see here, we have excessive space which is not used. So on a smaller screen that would be preferable. The disadvantages, for example, if you have a list, like we have contacts list, opportunities and notes, and you click, for example, to notes, nothing is here and it's basically wasted click. Let's change it back to let's change to flexible form. Save. Let's open the record again. And now, as you can see, we see all the tabs at the same time. So now it's like a bigger picture for the record, because we see the information, the address, the associated contacts, opportunities, the location. So this would be more suitable for larger screens, but it's all about your preference. So the advantage of this is, again, you see everything at one place. You don't have to click through anything, and disadvantage maybe is that if you have contact lists, or let's say any list, and you have a large amount of records here, it can take up some time for the form to load. So there may be some performance disadvantage when compared to the tab view, which loads only one tab or list at a time. But in the end, it's all about the end user preference. So we would recommend you asking the end users what they would prefer, or what would be preferable in their scenario.